Just 4 days before the 2004 presidential election in the United States, news channels aired a videotape of Osama bin Laden.
A glimpse of the world's most wanted
$25 million bounty on his head.
This was a pivotal election in American history. Candidates George Bush and John Kerry both campaigned with the promise to avenge the 9/11 attacks by capturing or killing Osama bin Laden. The video, aired on Al Jazeera, showed bin Laden in good health, taking responsibility for the 9/11 attacks in a more direct manner than ever before. The purpose of this video was to demonstrate to the world, especially to the United States, that the world's most wanted man felt completely safe. At the same time, the video created an uproar in America. At the CIA headquarters in Virginia, the special task force dedicated to finding bin Laden was facing frustration, as almost every lead had gone cold. This was particularly aggravating for the CIA, as they had been very close to capturing bin Laden just 3 years earlier. Just a month after the 9/11 attacks, the U.S. launched an invasion of Afghanistan, driving al-Qaeda fighters into the rugged eastern regions. Here, the militants took refuge in the labyrinthine caves of Tora Bora, with the CIA convinced that Osama bin Laden was hiding among them. Teaming up with local Afghan forces, the U.S. Army waged an intense battle against al-Qaeda in Tora Bora. When ground efforts fell short, they unleashed a barrage of heavy airstrikes. But by the time U.S. forces secured the area, bin Laden had slipped away. In the aftermath, only 20 individuals were captured, and the CIA missed its first golden chance to nab bin Laden. Unbeknownst to them, one of these 20 captives would eventually become the key to finding him. The man captured from the Tora Bora caves was Mohammed al-Qahtani, a name that was completely new to the CIA. He openly admitted his ties to al-Qaeda, claiming he was in Afghanistan for falcon hunting. However, when the CIA took his fingerprints, they found a match in their system. Just weeks before the 9/11 attacks, a man attempted to enter the United States at Orlando International Airport. Carrying $2,800 in cash and a one-way ticket, he aroused the suspicions of customs agents, who denied him entry and sent him back. This man was none other than al-Qahtani, whose fingerprints were already on record with the CIA. The CIA had a compelling reason to suspect Mohammed al-Qahtani's ties to al-Qaeda. On the very day and time he attempted to enter the USA, a call was made from a phone booth at Orlando Airport to an al-Qaeda number in the UAE. Given that al-Qahtani was at the airport then, the CIA believed the call was made by someone there to pick him up, possibly an accomplice. Adding to the suspicion, the FBI discovered an abandoned car in the Orlando airport parking lot that same day. This car was rented by Mohammed Atta, the same individual who piloted American Airlines Flight 11 into the North Tower of the World Trade Center during the 9/11 attacks. These events seemed to weave a web of connections back to Mohammed al-Qahtani. The investigation team concluded that al-Qahtani was intended to be part of the 9/11 plot by hijacking United Airlines Flight 93. This was the flight that didn't reach its target and crashed in Pennsylvania as brave passengers fought to regain control of the plane. After connecting all the dots, Mohammed al-Qahtani was interrogated once more. This time, he finally confessed his ties to al-Qaeda. Just 3 months later, in March 2002, another al-Qaeda operative named Abu Zubaydah was captured. He was responsible for supplying the group with various materials. Abu Zubaydah's capture led the CIA to Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, who was apprehended a year later. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was the mastermind behind the 9/11 attacks. Al-Qahtani revealed to the CIA that just 2 months before the 9/11 attacks in July 2001, Khalid Sheikh Mohammed introduced him to a man who was then unknown to the CIA, Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti, who trained al-Qahtani. The CIA's intel was piecing together al-Qaeda's structure, but it wasn't enough to pinpoint Osama bin Laden. Despite their relentless efforts, the CIA couldn't find any solid leads on his location. They monitored his family members closely, but none of them had any contact with bin Laden. The only thing the CIA knew for sure was that bin Laden was sending out messages from wherever he was hiding. Over the years, audio tapes of bin Laden surfaced, suggesting he was only in touch with Al-Qaeda's top brass. The CIA then shifted its strategy to track down Al-Qaeda's courier network, the people who ferried messages from bin Laden to other Al-Qaeda leaders. This network was the lifeline of communication within the organization. In January 2004, Kurdish security forces nabbed a guy named Hassan Gul, who had a letter from Osama bin Laden on him. Gul was handed over to the CIA, and during interrogation, he spilled some crucial beans. He revealed that Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti was bin Laden's personal courier, the same Abu Ahmed who had trained Mohammed al-Qahtani. With the spotlight now on Abu Ahmed, the investigation team started gathering different pieces of intel about his role in Al-Qaeda. Gul claimed Abu Ahmed was a big deal, while Khalid Sheikh Mohammed downplayed his importance, saying he was just a retired member. Fast forward to 2005, and Abu Faraj al-Libi, who took over as Al-Qaeda's commander after Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, was also captured. He too dismissed Abu Ahmed's significance. The CIA's interrogations of Al-Qaeda members painted a mixed picture of Abu Ahmed. The only solid lead the CIA had was his name, Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti, which wasn't even his real name. It simply meant Ahmed's father from Kuwait. The CIA had to dig deep to uncover Abu Ahmed's true identity and whereabouts. This investigation and intelligence operation was a long and intricate process, piecing together tiny clues to find the man who might lead them straight to Osama bin Laden. It's crucial to understand that the information extracted from Al-Qaeda members wasn't just through simple interrogation. The CIA used some pretty intense techniques, including various forms of torture. Despite their relentless efforts over the next 2 years, they couldn't track down Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti or Osama bin Laden. But then, in 2007, the CIA got a breakthrough. They discovered that Abu Ahmed's real name was Ibrahim Saeed Ahmed, a Pakistani whose family had moved to Kuwait. This wasn't information from their usual channels. Over the past 2 years, they had only managed to uncover his real name, but capturing him was still a long way off. The CIA then zeroed in on tracking Ibrahim Saeed, aka Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. They started tapping all calls coming into Pakistan from Kuwait and other Middle Eastern countries, hoping to catch a lead. After monitoring millions of phone calls and waiting for 9 long years, in June 2010 they finally got a suspicious call. During the call, a person in Pakistan spoke in Arabic and Pashto and, in response to a question, said, "I'm with the same people I was with before." This was the clue that made the CIA suspect they had found Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. In addition, the person in Pakistan was doing everything possible to avoid being tracked. His phone would only be on for a few minutes before being turned off again, and it was only on when he was out and about. These actions convinced the investigation team that this was indeed Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti. Ground-level surveillance was then initiated. In August 2010, a Pakistani CIA agent was assigned to the task. Initially, the agent was tasked with tracking Abu Ahmed in Peshawar, but for several days, Abu Ahmed didn't go anywhere that could lead to bin Laden. Then, the CIA began to suspect that bin Laden might not be elsewhere, but actually living in the same compound with Abu Ahmed. Although the US didn't have 100% confirmation yet, they believed that the man they had been searching for over the past decade might be right there. This mission was codenamed Operation Neptune's Spear. On the night of May 1st, 2011, at 11 p.m., 2 Black Hawk helicopters took off from Jalalabad airfield in Afghanistan, heading towards Abbottabad. The mission was extremely sensitive because the US hadn't informed Pakistan, and bin Laden's compound was near the Pakistani military academy. The helicopters were equipped with stealth technology to avoid detection by Pakistani radars. The mission was planned to last 40 minutes, but the Navy SEALs found and killed Osama bin Laden on the 3rd floor of the building within the first 15 minutes. The rest of the time was spent fighting off bin Laden's guards. Due to an emergency landing, 1 helicopter had to be destroyed, and everyone had to return in a single helicopter. Bin Laden's body was buried at sea within 24 hours, with permission from Saudi Arabia in the Arabian Sea. That's all for today. Thank you for your love and support. See you in the next exciting video.